My career journey, that's a windy, windy road. I started off studying international relations and politics in Brazil, which is where I'm from. And then I studied journalism in the same university and got some, my first job was as a trainee at Reuters, a news agency. And for circumstances of the time, I then became a correspondent. And it was a really exciting life. I was 23, so I was super young. And I was doing a bunch of really interesting coverages, politics and economics, and also a bit serious for the time. And it became too serious. And I realized that the part of journalism I liked wasn't what I was doing. I really loved getting to know people and having them, talk to me. So for many reasons, I came to Spain to study Spanish. At the time, I didn't speak any Spanish, and I took a sabbatical, decided that I needed to do something else, and ended up getting a job as a journalist in a studio that designed newspapers. And I got involved in a really cool project that designed a newspaper called Público. And that's where I first learned about all sorts of things that I'm familiar with today, like typography and design hierarchy and information architecture, because I was learning from those designers and they were learning from me, so it was a really cool interchange. And then for family reasons, I had to move to the UK and decided to do a master's to do that thing that I really liked to do, which is, understanding people, and understanding how they behave. And that's what brought me here, brought me to be a design researcher. So that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years. And it's been an incredible journey. It's been really interesting. I often get asked about transferable skills. And it's a funny thing because, your life is basically the story you write about yourself. And I think that I had a conversation with somebody the other day that defined themselves as a lazy, ambitious person. And I felt quite identified with that because I think that the changes I have done and were in my life, I think they were kind of led by that way of being, which is being able to spot an opportunity to do something that really gets me out of bed in the morning and jumping on it. Knowing what I like to do and maybe not being afraid of making mistakes was, I think, that the main transferable skills I had from every bit of my career. But obviously, there is a part of the technical side. Like, I really struggled when I started working as a journalist and all these incredibly experienced journalists around me, and I was basically a girl. I got trolled like hell, but I also learned a lot from them, And I think that those small bits of conversation I had in the past that I had no idea were going to be useful became extremely useful. Like when my boss would tell me, "You wait in silence until he confesses," or the politician, doesn't have anything else to say. If you're in silence, they will say something. I use that every day in my job, and that's a really cool thing. So loads of those examples I could give. Yeah, it was a brilliant experience. But you don't have them as like transferable skills. It's just stuff you learn and then you put into practice, and not being afraid of putting them in practice. How does Sngular encourage learning? Well, you see, I think that there's the formal ways. Obviously, we have a budget for training. You can choose whatever you want to study and just spend money on it, and that's great. So that's very stimulating. Not everywhere you have that advantage and don't have that perk. But I think that the main way, as a company, Sngular helps people want to learn is by mixing people that are really good at what they do in a project or in everyday work, you know. Just today, I met incredible professionals recording this that I had no idea what they did. You know, in my team, we mix with other departments all the time, and since I started here 3 years ago, I really had not a lot of knowledge about basically everything that Sngular does. So anything from, you know, data and artificial intelligence, and I've worked with people that know how robots work and how amazing high definition cameras work, and I've worked with people that know a lot about training, and it's been, I think that is the main way, you know, it's just presenting this incredible variety of humble and incredibly knowledgeable professionals, and that are accessible, you know, literally at a click. So I think that that's it. Well, listen, in what I do and what we do at the design team, I think it's impossible to carry on working if you're not up to learning, period. I have, you know, we have many selection criteria for the people that come and work with us, but definitely curiosity is one of them. So I think that I think it comes with the people that are, I'm talking about my department because I think this is, that's what I can talk about better. But so I think that curiosity is something that comes embedded with the people that want to come and work here. But obviously after they arrive, I think that having a close relationship with people, my peers and my team, is the only way to know what ticks them. Like, what do you like doing? What are the bits of your work? Because you say you're a designer, of course, you're a researcher. But for everyone, there's parts of their job that they love doing, and there's parts of their job they just do because it's their job. So when you learn as a manager, what is it that actually makes people move, that's gold, because this is how then you can have those conversations about how that you can carry on doing that. You know, if you come to work every day and you spend 8 hours a day, you might as well be doing something that you're good at and that you like doing. So I think that to come to an answer, maybe the way we stimulate people to carry on learning is by having an open and non-judgmental dialogue about learning, about curiosity. So before I joined Sngular, which I did in a very particular situation because we had our own business, my partners and I have to say I was resistant. Maybe people in Sngular, maybe people here today don't actually know that, but I was the one resisting. I liked my studio. I liked the brand we were building. And 3 years in, I can say this was the best choice I made. And for me, it has particular reasons. As a researcher, having, seeing the things that we research about and the knowledge that we bring to the table actually applied to something that walks down the street, that somebody actually is going to use, it is a little bit like magic. It is amazing. So for me particularly, that is like the reason. So, but in general, I think that Sngular is, it's just what it's on the tin, It is really a company where everybody is accessible all the time. And you can really learn from other people. There are no frills. And there is this constant hunger for finding new, better ways of doing that. So as designers, working in a place like this, what else can you ask?